and performs because he is, of course, a showman, a personality, a genuine celebrity. Natalia Makarova is another genuine celebrity. In her own field, she has practically the drawing power of a Pavarotti. She is the tutued version of Nureyev or Baryshnikov. She was one of the defectors, and defectors get quite a bit of attention just because they defected. She was, of course, already in the première danseuse category, a star of Leningrad's Kirov Ballet. She has, naturally, danced superlatively in the West. Controlled in her romanticism, her technique remains wondrous. So, too, her grace and her precision. I've seen her rehearse at my father's studio, and she's dedicated, quiet, intense, a true ballerina, not the stereotype of, here I am, make way for me, the most royal of the royal. No, Makarova is a worker and a worrier. She frets over her roles, and of course she has the discipline that the best must have. Just the way Makarova sits as Giselle. It's a feast to watch her. She's almost weightless, and yet there's strength in everything she does. How easy she makes it all seem on stage. And yet we'll see how much muscle power and psychological involvement and mental stress precede the breathless, weightless moment. Assoluta Makarova is the well-chosen title of our next documentary about this remarkable dancer who threatens to become a legend.
Assoluta was the rarest and most prized accolade given to a ballerina in Imperial Russia. Only 2 artists were ever awarded this official rank of prima ballerina assoluta. Today, it is no longer an official title, but it is still an accolade that can be given to a very few, very exceptional dancers, and among them is Natalia Makarova. Natalia Makarova was born in Leningrad in November 1940. Her early childhood was spent in the country with her grandparents, away from that war-torn city. Her father was killed in the fighting. She was 5 years old before she returned to Leningrad, and in 1952 she was accepted into the Vaganova Ballet School, which prepares dancers for entry into the Leningrad Kirov Ballet. The Vaganova School, named after the great Russian teacher Agrippina Vaganova, is the finest training ground for dancers in the world. The system of training which Vaganova developed in the 1920s and 1930s is the basis of the Soviet style of classical dancing today. In the Vaganova School, classical dancing is presented at its grandest and best. Vaganova's teaching revitalized the old imperial classical style for the new Soviet society which it had to serve. Nevertheless, it still stresses the harmony and the expressive power of the classic dance, and ironically, it is still the most aristocratic style in the world. Makarova made her debut with the Kirov Ballet in 1959. Within 2 years, she was dancing leading roles in the classic repertory. She was carefully prepared for these important ballets by Natalia Dudinskaya and Tatiana Vecheslova, both outstanding ballerinas of the previous generation. In September 1970, the Kirov Ballet was appearing in London. On the day before the season ended, Makarova decided to stay in the West. Since then, her performances throughout the world have brought her recognition as one of the greatest dancers of our day. The training Makarova received at the Vaganova School and in the Kirov Ballet is central to her art. She is part of the great tradition of those ballerinas who were also products of the same school and company. Dancers like Anna Pavlova, who left Russia finally in 1913 to travel the world as an apostle of the classic dance, inspiring everyone who saw her. Olga Spesivtseva, who was the supreme classical artist produced by the same school and company, who also danced throughout the world when she finally left Russia in 1923. And Galina Ulanova, one of the most renowned dancers of the Soviet era in Russian ballet, a pupil of Vaganova, and an artist who illuminated both the classic ballets and the modern repertory in Leningrad and Moscow. You are from greatest school in the world, so you are best trained
because
dancers.
I think it's the only school can give you the harmony in expressing. It is putting so much all together, and it is combination of many things, and not one school having that.
No, but even so, what Dudinskaya and Vyacheslava gave you in Leningrad is something which is like being given a great treasure, which you can never lose, yes?
I hope not.
When did you realize how important it was? Did you realize when you were a student?
No, I think in the West.
Only in the West?
Yes.
Yes.
Because I start to work with myself. So many teachers, nurses in Leningrad. I even didn't analyze my deeply profound as much as I do now, because it's all the time somebody say what you do wrong, what you do right, and now I have to be most judge about myself, most critical to myself, and I have to be critical to save what I had from the school. And I realized here it's not complete education.
Here, to show what the training in the Vaganova School and the Kirov Ballet means, are Natalia Makarova and Mikhail Baryshnikov, two dancers who left Russia in order to work in the West. From the Don Quixote pas de deux, we can get an insight into something of the discipline and elegance of the Leningrad style. It is classical dancing at its best because of its purity. Far beyond mere technical skill, the dancers feel and express the essential quality of the movements they perform. The classic dance ennobles the human body, even in a light-hearted duet like this. Were you a good student?
I was quite bad because I was concentrated in the intellectual part of education,
Yes.
more than ballet lessons.
Really?
Yes, well, I don't know why. But my God gave me quite good professional thing, body, feet, like so it wasn't too difficult for me. But I mostly was involved in books and no mathematics, literature,
Yes.
mostly. Only with years in theater, I start to work very hard and was completely involved and devoted to ballet. But I study also not like every one student. I study only 6 years, even 5.5, instead 9, because students usually in Russia coming to Vaganova school since from the 9 years old, and I start from 13 years old. So I was quite in experimental class. So for 6 years we have to do 9 years program. And because of I came the beginning of year already start, and my parents was against, so it took half year to put me in the school, fighting between administration of Vaganova school and my parents to take me for the school. So I have 5.5 years in school only, and it's not enough for the muscles, just physically.
No.
Not because I really had have to polish all things what I supposed to do in school in first years in the theater. My muscles was quite weak, and because I have the soft muscles, soft legs, it's good side, but at the same time it takes more time to make them strong and stamina.
Yes, give us stamina, of course.
Give them stamina.
Because, funnily, you only really got stamina in Swan Lake when you came to the West.
That's absolutely true. Oh, I smoke too much.
Of all performing artists, dancers have to be the most disciplined, because their art depends upon a complete control of their bodies. Their work can never stop. In London last summer, when she was appearing in a gala ballet season, we found Makarova at work at the Royal Ballet School by the side of Baronskop Tube Station. Do you find working difficult like this in studios?
The studio, sometimes very. Some days it's delightful to feel your body, to feel each muscle. But some days, just everything wrong. And you just have to or fight, continue to fight, or just go to rest.
But do you think but can you fight? Do you think it's wise to fight with your body in that way?
We fight all our life, because so much influence from other sides, from atmosphere, weather, everything, disasters in life, moods, spirit, all things influence on the body.
But if you're fighting with your body actually in class, you may be fighting actually badly with it, yes?
Sometimes, yes, you know, day after day you notice something wrong, and because body feel it is wrong. If I stay right, correct, I feel at ease and free, completely free. But some days just everything tense, and I know it's my body doesn't work correct way. And I need somebody who have a good eye to look at me and say what is really wrong. Hips have to be straight, legs have to be straight, and muscles stretching, arch pointed. Muscles on back have to be strong to be able to hold the arabesque. Pirouette has to be straight, square here, hip cannot go up. When you perform every day or quite often, you don't need too hard class, but you need very correct class to put yourself, because on stage we floating, you know, and we don't think about class, correct way how to do arabesque, how to, it is laundry, how to say, so everything was have to be achieved in class, to make on stage, forget about.
Side, plie, side.
Classical dancers have to tune their bodies each working day in their morning ritual, educating and re-educating muscles and sinews and the whole physical frame. Without this routine, they cannot dance.
Plie, close, side, pull up knee, 2, 1, and 1, down, 3, again, and 1, up, 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 1, down, 3, and 1.
As Makarova describes it, it is like a laundry.
Down, 3, and 1, down, 3.
Here she is in class with her partner Anthony Dowell and the ballet master Jürgen Schneider of the American Ballet Theatre.
What? And for the ball, long arm, long arm. That's 2. And other side. Niveau ready. And grand rond back. Now держи стопой.
It is during this searching routine that dancers can look at their most beautiful. Everything has been reduced to an essence, which is the body and the discipline of the classic dance.
Up. Single, 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 double, 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 again, double. 2 tom B, coupe. 1. Only Kaliana. Plie, stopoj, vytягивай. And 4. Shoulder straight, 2. 1. That's it. And it down.
No matter how great dancers may be, how celebrated or how praised, they willingly subject themselves to a teacher as they did when they first learned to dance. It's a form of humility in front of the ideal of perfection which they seek.
1, 2. Coup de pied. Держи, спокойно, спокойно. Вот это час. 2. 1, 2. And 1, 2, 3. And close. Thank you.
It doesn't exist, this perfection, because the body, human body is not perfect. We only can try to come to that. But it's possible to make yourself close to the academic perfection. But at the same time, it's danger to dry yourself also.
It becomes very desiccated.
But that's, if you have a performances, it will never happen because you give your freedom on the stage. But if you do only classes, it's danger.
But
You have to have something extra beyond the academic.
Oh yes, fantasy.
Not just fantasy, ability in the body to express something more than just academic.
Makarova first danced Swan Lake in Russia 15 years ago.
Cheers, cheers.
In the years since then, she has established complete authority over the ballet, yet it is something which is still to be studied and worked at, rethought in rehearsal and performance. Before every performance, there is a period of preparation. In the performance, there is the necessity to make the ballet live. After dancing it scores of times, she has to keep it fresh each time she appears in it, both for herself and for her audience, and also for her partner, who is Anthony Dowell, latterly with the Royal Ballet and now with Makarova in American Ballet Theatre.
Little more over. Okay. And after.
Like marriages, ballet partnerships are made in heaven. Makarova and Dowell complement each other exactly as artists.
Teaching Natasha ballet, of course, naturally at first it was the language barrier, but it's amazing how quickly she has the command of the English language now. I mean, that was really the only difficult thing that perhaps slowed things up at the beginning. In fact, I've learned such a lot. Luckily, I'm a sort of personality that acts like a sponge, and whatever she wants to tell me or says about my own dancing and performing, I will take instantly and see if it works, and it always is right for me. It's such a marvelous schooling they've had in Russia. excitement is the first word that springs to mind. I mean, when I think back to when we first worked together, I was very frightened of working with Natasha because it was this very big name who just jumped the borders into the West. And the first two performances were, for me, very difficult to get to know someone. And then it was only when we worked together very closely that everything suddenly took flight.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah?
From there to look there.
And also I had to learn a different technique in partnering, I think, as well. In fact, to do almost nothing. It's such an amazing body, such a finely tuned instrument. It's like she's like sprung steel that the slightest touch is enough to control.
As well as Swan Lake, there is another traditional role in which Makarova is supreme, that of Giselle. She is generally recognized as the greatest interpreter today of this celebrated romantic ballet. Makarova and Dowell are seen here in the opening scene of the ballet, in which a shy young peasant girl, Giselle, comes out of her cottage one morning to meet Albrecht, the mysterious young man with whom she has fallen in love. Even under these bare rehearsal circumstances, we can appreciate how real the characterization at once becomes to Makarova and Dowell.
All my life I try to take out from classic something what give to classic eternal life, some beauty, what it could be safe, and not from the just as a museum piece, just to give a contemporary meaning, to more entire, more general meaning.
In this performance of part of the second act of Giselle, Mikhail Baryshnikov dances Albrecht with Makarova. The scene is a forest at midnight. Giselle has died of a broken heart after discovering that Albrecht is betrothed to a princess. Albrecht comes to lay flowers on Giselle's forest grave, and he is astounded to see the ghost of Giselle. She has become a Willi, one of the ghostly night dancers of German legend. Any man who falls into the Willi's power must dance with them until he dies. But Giselle's love for Albrecht has survived the grave, and she dances with him to try and save him from death.
You want me to say which kind of atmosphere I put myself before second act of Giselle? Very mystical. And you know when Giselle come out before bow to Queen of the Wheels, Myrta. And every time I try to imagine myself, physically imagine myself like I'm part of some mysterious ritual, what I'm involved, or I'm going to be, you know. It really doesn't matter of which kind of what, just that mysterious atmosphere what I put around me. and go out on stage. And that moment when she starts to
Yes.
do it like a gin from the bottle, you know, like release her spirit. I just try to imagine I go through the air, on the air, above the ground, just with the wind. Before each performance, I worry atmosphere will not come to me, inspiration will not come to me. Sometimes I really, the night before, try to go to bed, try to already to give to myself atmosphere, and sometimes I don't do anything and say to myself, like it will be. It's come, and it's all right.
Yes.
Maybe it's the best way. It's spontaneous impulses. It's always better for me when it's planned.
I remember once phoning you and you sounded very sad. And I said, what's the matter? You said, I'm preparing Juliet. And this was 2 days before performance. Huh?
Yes.
That's the sort of artistry which is very rare.
What do you think?
Oh, yes. But rewarding as the great traditional roles are, a ballerina needs the stimulus of new choreography, and Makarova's decision to leave the Kirov Ballet was prompted by her desire for the greater opportunities and the greater challenges of Western ballet and Western choreography. She now dances for part of each year with American Ballet Theatre, and we recently found her working at the Los Angeles Music Center with the modern American choreographer Glenn Tetley. He was creating a new work, Contredanse, with music by Anton Webern for Makarova and Dowell.
Okay. Listen, that's coming back. It's marvelous. Feel like two peacocks. When you come back to this thing, you come down to here. Each step is like a dare. It's testing, it's giving, it's pulling back. It never gives over. It's a game. Natasha is a dancer who's had this enormous gift of all of the wealth of Russian training of the 19th century. She is such a beautifully, finely tuned instrument functioning in the 20th century. It's a great challenge to work with her. She wants to do contemporary work. And I find this extraordinary stretch of technical demand, of having the brilliance of line, of the technical capability, all that her marvelous Kirov training has brought. Each time we've worked together, it's been a kind of exploration of how one can push forward technique, not just as a dancer, not just as a great dancer as Natasha is, but for a choreographer seeking vocabulary.
It was before good video.
I wonder if instead of changing hands from here, I could just keep her in that same hand and then go.
Good.
It looks better if you do change hands. She's closer to you on the other
And
side.
I'm going to have that
But
backward.
can you get her so her back is more towards your front on the change? All of the movement in the ballet actually has come out of Natasha. I mean, I've said, we'll start with this, we'll move with this, but I very quickly watched the way she took the form. She has these extremes, the ability to go either very, very fast or very slow. It slows down because you keep her out, if you can bring her in on the change. So press her back into you. I think it's wonderful that she's not just sitting there, but she wants to go forward into 20th century choreography. That's beautiful.
3 years ago, Makarova married an American businessman, and in 1978 she gave birth to a son. Childbirth means a considerable interruption in a dancer's career, and after the baby has arrived, there is the serious matter of restoring the body to dancing condition to concert pitch.
So you did it in, what, 4 months?
No, less than 3 months I was already on the Metropolitan stage.
No.
Ah, God.
When did you go back to bar? When did you
To
make
the
the first exercise? When did you do
Next day after delivery. I show you the photo of when my legs and doctors take photos. I stretch my legs on the hospital bed, and it was wonderful feeling. Nothing in the way to bend yourself. You know. It was, muscles were so supple, so nice to feel. Really. Later it was disaster. To go, when his muscles start to going in working condition, to be in work, that was very difficult period.
The body started to complain.
Oh, but how? But probably all dancers have kind of masochistic quality, and I enjoy that, go against the body, and to fight with my body, and to get this freedom in physical way.
Makarova benefited from the ideal Leningrad training, but it is the instrument itself, the dancer's body, and the use it is put to in the theatre which makes for a great artist. Makarova has been blessed with a beautiful body. She has been taught how to make it expressive. But then there comes something extra which transforms the fine dancer into the great artist. It has to do with a psychic involvement with the dance. Her entire being, body and soul, is taken over by the role that is being interpreted. Offstage, she is someone with a total absence of false grandeur. She's unaffected, very honest about her life and her art, and very generous. She's blessed with a huge sense of humor, on stage and off, even about certain disasters that have struck her performances, like her very first Giselle with the Kirov Ballet in London.
It was really nightmare.
Yes.
In Paris before, we were in Paris, and I remember I decided to bleach my hair suddenly, I don't know why. And I went to coiffeur, and it seems to me not enough, and I put some Russian stuff, but is without any conditioning, you know, for really to make myself very, very blonde. It was many years ago, in 1961. And I make rolls, and I was so tired I slept. And when I woke up, I took rolls together with my hair. You couldn't believe it. All my hair was coming out with rolls. I come down to coiffeur again, and they took my hair and said, "Oh la la, madame, oh la la," and it was all apart like that. So I was need the wig for Giselle in London. I wasn't planned to dance Giselle because of Rudy defection. They scheduled me to dance Giselle suddenly. I'm not supposed to. And I don't have wig. Well, they found some very awful from corps de ballet, from chorus wig, so it's all right. But suddenly my tooth I have a pain, and I had a swollen cheek like that just before the performance. So I rushed to try to find dentist. They took out my teeth.
In Makarova's art, a phenomenal temperament in the theatre is enhanced and sharpened by the disciplines and the formal rules of the classic dance itself. The great classic ballets of the 19th century were really vehicles designed expressly for the ballerina, and it was her task to justify these full-length works in her performance. Today, a ballet which Makarova dances lives because Makarova lives it totally. When you come out on stage, you have actually to dominate an audience. You have to make them believe what you believe.
I don't think this way.
You don't.
I don't think this way.
No.
It is not with this kind of attitude.
But you believe totally.
Yes,
When you
I
come...
have to believe. I have to believe. On stage, it's impossible to lie. Even you want to lie. It's impossible to hide something. You have to be in Giselle. You have to be Juliet. You cannot play Juliet.
No.
You can play in drama probably, yes. But in ballet, it's impossible. You have to be.
Because whole body speaks.
Mm-hmm.
But also this depends then on your partner,
Very
your
much.
relationship with your partner.
Indeed, very much. It's because from that relation, because he gave you kind of vibration, what you respond or not. That is called good partnership or bad partnership. If it's impulses or vibrations, is going. How to say that? Like negative and positive, you know, goes together and become to be. How to say that?
You become one.
Yes. Well, that's the partnership it works. And also you have to be in love with image of your partner, which kind of image. It's not necessarily to be in love with person, with their image. On stage it's like human conversation. You have to find a mutual interest. If a personality stimulates you to express yourself, you might find a kind of spontaneous thing that happens on stage, and it is just the right thing.
Do you think it's always spirit, or is it sometimes the body itself?
Artisticism, I think. Artistry.
Now Natalia Makarova is partnered by Ivan Naj in the second act adagio from Swan Lake. Swan Princess meets the man whom she hopes may release her from the enchantment that turns her into a swan by day.
back, keep straight up, under down. 1, 2, and 4. Plié, passing, and up, passing, arm, balance, long, pulled up, supporting leg, hold, and open, and plié. Okay.
Am I a good teacher? Well, it's very hard to say. Let's put it this way. Bernard Shaw once said that there are those who teach and can't act, and those who act and can't teach. Well, I act and I teach, but I learn from my pupils as they learn from me.
There have always been plenty of Englishmen who simply didn't want to disappear into the bowler and brawler uniform, even if that's what their father wanted for them. One of them is England's outstanding choreographer, Sir Frederick Ashton. You're going to meet him now in a documentary produced about him by the BBC. And his father wanted him to be a banker.
This is one of the greatest choreographers in the world. He can create movement that is breathtakingly beautiful. He can suggest passion, longing, love. He can excite laughter simply through movement. His name is Frederick Ashton. And in 1926, seeing his very first ballet, Ninette de Valois congratulated his teacher, Marie Rambert, on having discovered a real choreographer. His inspiration was Pavlova, whom he saw dancing this ballet in South America when he was a child. It was his first visit to the theatre, and also his first opportunity to ride in a motor car.
We went in a motor car to the performance, and my other brothers were only interested in the car drive and was longing for the performance to be finished in order to get back into the car. And I just accepted the car as nothing and as a means of getting there, and I wanted the performance to go on forever. And that's how I first saw her. Then I used to find out what hotel she was staying at, and I used to go and stand outside and watch her getting into a carriage, which she did with wonderful grace and fascination.
How old were you that time?
I suppose I must have been about 10, 12, I don't know, something like that. Quite young.
And did you really go home and think, that's what I want to do?
Obviously, yes, I think I did.
Ashton has never forgotten the impact of Pavlova's personality and the grace and plasticity of her dancing. Her memory has inspired him.
She, as it were, started the whole thing off. I mean, she injected me with the poison, as it were, and I never looked back from that.
One of his dancers once said fondly, "We still get what he saw of Pavlova thrown at our heads." He's still apt to run across the rehearsal room and say, "Oh, none of you can run like Pavlova." Frederick Ashton's achievement has been enormous. His choreography is the basis of the English style of dancing, and he has created more than 50 major works for the Royal Ballet and the companies from which it grew. He is a very private man. This is the first time that he has allowed film cameras to observe him at length, both at home and at work. Ashton's parents lived in South America and had no professional connection with the ballet, theatre, or music. It was a severe and formal household, dominated by the daunting figure of his father, a businessman. What did his parents make of his ambition to be a dancer?
Well, they didn't know anything about it because, I didn't dare say it. I mean, my father would have been absolutely horrified. And I doubt if my mother would have been too pleased either. So I never really said anything about it till after I left school and after my father died. Meanwhile, if my father had lived, I never wouldn't be sitting here, because he was very strong-willed and he would never have tolerated it. And even my mother, when finally she conceded, and people say, "Well, what does he want to do?" She said she couldn't bring herself to say he wants to be a dancer. She would say he wants to go on stage. It seemed to her more, I don't know, right.
As a young man, Ashton longed to be on stage. Here he plays one of the ugly sisters in Cinderella, seeking advice from the other, Robert Helpman, about the steps that ought to come next. He was sent home to England for most of his schooling. He arrived still nursing his secret ambition and speaking English with a slight Spanish accent. His years at an English public school were not very happy. Then, at his mother's instigation, he was put to work in the city to learn the import-export business. He was not much good at it.
When I did my first bit of business, I lost the firm £1,000, so that I was called before these distinguished old boys, and they were reprimanding me for carelessness and everything else. And I suddenly turned around. I was longing to get the sack, so I suddenly turned around to them. I said, "Well, gentlemen, the money is lost. What are you going to do to retrieve it?" And they all, practically blew me out of the door. And that was it.
And then?
Well, then my mother by that time had come home, and so I pressed for the fact that I wanted to be able to go to a class every day. And one of my brothers, who was doing quite well, said that he'd pay for my tuition on condition I didn't go into a chorus, because chorus boys had a rather bad name in those days.
So with the rather grudging goodwill of your family, you did in fact start?
Yes.
What age were you when you started?
I should think about 19, really, when I started regularly.
So very late?
Very late. Very late indeed.
Did you find it enjoyable to dance?
Yes, always. I adored dancing.
Did you want to be a good dancer?
Yes, I wanted to be a good Nijinsky. Of course, a ludicrous idea, but that's what I wanted to be a dancer much more than a choreographer. I wasn't interested in that at all first, till Rambert pushed me into it.
Mary Rambert's ballet club was the cradle of ballet in England. Here, in 1932, Ashton partnered Natalia Makarova in a ballet he called Foyer de Danse. On this tiny stage, performing in front of a handful of people, Sir Frederick Ashton learned his craft. It was here that British ballet was born, and if Rambert was its midwife, Ashton was its natural parent. Marie Rambert, a remarkable and cultivated woman, encouraged, guided and lovingly bullied the young Frederick Ashton. She once described him as passionately lazy.
One has the impression that she brought something out of you, which you in a sense didn't know was there, and that sometimes in your life you've needed somebody to bring something out of you. Is that true?
Yes, I think so. I think I needed prodding quite a lot.
Do you still?
Yes. Yes.
What do you do when you're not making ballets?
Stare, sit and stare, smoke, and read a certain amount, of course, and amble round the garden. But I have a very contemplative side, and I can get out there on that terrace and sit there from sunset till practically sunrise. And people say to me, "Oh, but of course you're thinking out wonderful things." I said, "Not at all. I mean, I'm just in a state."
Where do ballets start? Do they start with a story or a theme, or?
Well, can start with anything. I mean, they can start with a theme, a story, or a piece of music, and then you fit a theme to it. Mostly, in my case, I think they start from the music. If I don't like the music, well, it's no good at all. I've got to absolutely be engrossed by the music and really delve into it and really learn it and study it. And then the curious thing is that once the ballet's had its first night, I never want to hear that piece of music again. It's like a sort of dead love affair.
Love, wit, joy. Characteristics of an Ashton ballet, and nowhere more clearly revealed than in La Fille Mal Gardée, one of his masterpieces. From his earliest years, Ashton has always possessed a great ability to amuse. His impressions are famous. He can also impersonate most of his friends and colleagues with or without props. At the ballet club, everything was elegant, improvised, and entertaining. Ashton created a stream of ballets on a shoestring. But the stage was only 18 feet wide, and there was only one performance each week. Ashton felt the need to look for greater professional opportunities. With this in mind, he went to audition for a newly formed company in Paris, where he came into contact for the first time with a great choreographer, Nijinsky's sister. Ashton watched all Nijinsky's rehearsals and danced in her ballets. Had her work impressed him?
Oh yes, she was a tremendous influence on me. She really taught me how to work. She also increased my vocabulary of movement. I mean, I admired tremendously the qualities that she had in movement and the plasticity of her. All that was to me something of a revelation which I had never seen before. And I was then very young and, of course, in a sponge-like attitude, so I really absorbed everything that there was to get from her. I got, really. And she was wonderfully kind to me and patient and encouraging. And so it was really, although it was a very hard time, it was also a great pleasure and privilege, really, to have had this association with her.
When he returned to England, some of his work showed traces of Nijinsky's influence. But it was also at this stage that he managed to create his first original and long-lasting success, Facade. Natalia Makarova created the polka in Facade, and she was also the star of Les Rendezvous, the first major work which Ashton choreographed for the infant Vic Wells Ballet Company, founded by Ninette de Valois. Constant Lambert arranged the music for that Ashton ballet and for many others. He became one of Ashton's closest professional associates.
He educated me musically tremendously and guided one in my musical taste. Maynard Keynes said about him that he was the most potentially brilliant young man he'd ever met. And he was indeed that, because not only was he a wonderful musician, but he was expert at painting. He knew all about painting, his father having been an artist. He'd suffered from several injuries in his childhood, so he'd read everything. So he was a completely rounded figure and a fountain of knowledge. And with it all, the most wonderful sense of fun and humor. And then when he was in the pit, he was an inspired conductor with this tremendous vitality that he had. All this was a tremendous uplift.
Lambert and Ashton, seen here with Lord Berners, collaborated musically and artistically on many, many ballets. It was Constant Lambert who declaimed the nonsense narrative of A Wedding Bouquet through a megaphone. Constant Lambert selected and arranged the music for Apparitions, in which Ashton alternated with Harold Turner as the hussar. Lambert advised on and conducted Nocturne, in which Ashton danced with Margot Fontaine. And Lambert composed Horoscope, which was designed by Sophie Fedorovich, one of the principal artistic influences on Frederick Ashton. Sophie Fedorovich designed Dante Sonata, one of the few ballets that Ashton made during the war. when he served with the RAF as a volunteer. And Fedorowicz also designed Symphonic Variations, Ashton's first ballet for the Royal Opera House in 1946. It is one of his indisputable masterpieces. When Fedorowicz died, tragically, accidentally, he wrote, "By her death, I lost not only my dearest friend, but my greatest artistic collaborator. She was the ideal ballet designer." And Constant Lambert died also within the same 2-year period. It was an enormous blow.
Did Constance's death affect you?
Yes, very deeply, very deeply. Well, it seemed to me like a sort of, you know, like the ground falling from under one's feet.
It was a period then when you lost Constant Lambert. In a few years you lost Sophie Fedorowicz also. Did it affect your work and your life?
Well, I suppose it didn't. Perhaps it gave what the French call the sens tragique to one, I don't know. Probably did. But I was definitely very affected by both of them. It seemed to me a sort of tremendous gap in my life when they went.
How have you filled that?
Well, one never could. That's an impossibility. Different friends, but not the same, of course. You can't replace people. You can adapt yourself to different ones. And of course, since then I met also lots of interesting, fascinating people as well, of course. But not the deep friendship that there was between us.
Another key artistic collaboration was with Margot Fonteyn, whom he first encountered in 1935. At first, he found her stiff and awkward. Later, her dancing was a revelation. After Markova left the Vic Wells, there was a star role for Margot Fonteyn in almost every new Ashton ballet for more than 20 years. She was seldom less than outstanding, and if Markova was Ashton's first muse, Fonteyn was the second and greater inspiration.
I think we fed each other tremendously, and I mean, I always enjoyed working with her, and I think she enjoyed working with me, and we developed each other, I think, in the course of the thing. I mean, I taught her a great deal, and she also enriched me.
Margot Fonteyn says that her character as a dancer has never been more sympathetically displayed than in the role of Ondine, a water nymph who emerges onto land, discovers her own shadow, and plays with it like a child. This is the shadow dance.
adore her, and she's a goddess, and as a goddess she's immortal. And she has the proportions of Venus and the mind of Minerva, and a bit of Apollo somewhere around because of her extreme musicality.
Michael Soames is another of the dancers with whom Ashton collaborated gladly and regularly. He partnered Margot Fonteyn for more than 20 years, and now looks after all Ashton's works in the Royal Ballet's repertoire.
Ballet is a language of movement, and one of the things that I most admire about your ballets is the gift from inventing movement that you have, that you never seem to run short of choreographic interest, pure choreographic interest. Where does this enormous talent come from? Where does this gift come from?
I imagine, I don't know, I mean, call it him. I don't know where it comes from. I mean, whether it's a mixture of instinct and alertness when one's working, or what. I mean, it's impossible to say. Because when I start off, I don't necessarily know exactly what's going to happen. And one has to be very alive to everything that's going on to take what we call the accident of the theatre. Well, you know.
It's in the rehearsal room that Ashton's genius, his gift for movement, is seen in action. These rehearsals took place in Canada, where young dancers of the National Ballet of Canada were starting to learn the two pigeons, which Ashton choreographed in 1961. All Ashton's choreography should look seamless, effortless. It is one of the characteristics of his style. One of the Royal Ballet's choreologists, Lynn Wallace, and the director of the National Ballet, Alexander Grant, have already taught the whole work to the dancers. Ashton is there to perfect the nuances and the details of the performances. He has spent his whole life observing, inventing, and practicing movement. He sees every detail of what a dancer does.
I've always understood about moving, and this is what I can make dancers do. I can give them this feeling of being blown by the wind, so to speak. You see, you're doing it all up here. Not just there, you see. Try it. Yes, now bring it across here. You see, you're doing it all out here. Bring it there. T, la. That's it, yes, then it has some meaning. Yes, that's it. Quite different. You get yours a little bit more, you see, round. That. When she does that at you, when she does this at you,
in ballet, every gesture, however small, needs to be expressive. A great choreographer looks beyond the steps to the emotions they seek to evoke.
Now you begin to work up. Begin to work up. Begin to work up.
Rush down, right down the front, like mad.
Better, but twice as much. It's because you're treading too soft. It's when you run. That if you run this way, you don't get the same thing. But if you plie and run, you get much more thing. Well, what now? Finished? That's it. It's a good fourth in the back. That's it. You can use your arms on that. That's it. You don't.
You go on with your body, and your leg will go too.
Just do it.
On with your body.
No, but drag this, you see. You're taking it up too quickly. Do it slowly. Right. See? Extend it. Yes, like a Stardust movement. And these.
Since 1961, Ashton has created 10 major ballets as well as many small-scale works.
That's it.
Does he find it possible to remember all the details of a work as old as this?
No, I don't at all, no, because I've done so many ballets, I couldn't possibly in my career stretch it over a long period. And also, I haven't got that kind of memory at all. But I have a different kind of thing that if I see something, even if it's a very old ballet, I know immediately whether it's right or wrong. And I don't necessarily even remember what the step was, but I said, well, that's not it, it's not like that. We must find what was exact again. There. Don't get it there. Keep the line. Keep the line. The basic thing is to get the steps right, of course, like laying the bricks of a house, but what is important, of course, is to convey the intention of the choreographer and with sensitivity and with meaning. Yes, much better. Right. You're dropping it.
Now,
That's it.
from the knee and...
What I set out to do is to make them look their very, very best and to give them the things that will help them to give a good performance. It's a bit bigger then. You have the rondecham a bit bigger. Yes, that's it. That's it.
A ball of fire.
That's it, all. Tempo, that tempo's perfectly all right.
Dancers don't merely dance the steps. They must possess them and be possessed by them. Otherwise, the story and the characters simply won't emerge. In this case, they have to capture the spirit of a ballet they've never seen and take over steps which were closely modelled on the characteristics of its original cast.
Yeah.
Ninette de Valois once said that you weren't very keen on second casts, on bringing on a replacement cast for the original people with whom you'd worked in creating a ballet. Is that true?
Absolutely, yes. Because I created on the person to such a degree, and the dancers become like putty in my hands, and if I've worked on them, they're the only people I see in the role. The moment a substitute comes in, it's not the same thing at all, because it's so manufactured on them, tailor-made on them, that another personality coming in can disrupt my eye, so to speak.
This is the original cast recording of La Fille Mal Gardée, the final pas de deux danced by Nadia Nerina and David Blair. Ashton captures a special spontaneity and easy joy when he models his choreography on dancers he knows well. The choreography is allowed to reflect every aspect of their characters and gifts, and it sometimes seems that no one else can ever dance it quite so well.
La Fille Malgade has survived now a great number of casts and has become, I would say, an English classic. It's the classic of the English style, which is also the Ashton style. What is that style and what does it consist of?
Well, I'm not terribly aware of what it consists of. When people talk about it, I don't know. I mean, it's the style that my ballets are in, and I never thought that I was making a style at the time or anything of that sort. I mean, I suppose it's the English have always been great poets, and maybe it's a sort of poetic lyricism which transmutes through them. I don't know. Maybe it's that.
Is it a very single-minded thing when you're actually rehearsing a new ballet? Do you have to put everything else aside for
Oh, absolutely, yes, absolutely. I do completely when I'm working on a new ballet. I really don't think of anything else but that. And I come home and I play the music all the time, think of what I've done and what I'm going to do, and I'm sort of, it becomes like an obsession with me for the period that it's going on. It's a trauma. You know, start off to do a ballet is a trauma. You don't know what's going to happen, whether it's going to turn out all right or not. And as your reputation goes, the more alarming it is.
So that it doesn't get easier as you get more experience?
No, it doesn't, because people expect probably more of you, and therefore it becomes more difficult, I think.
Are you frightened the first day you go into a...
Yes, terrified. I leave generally a trail of sick from my house to the rehearsal.
What, I mean, is that one of the things the dancers can give you, is make you feel more comfortable, more sure that something will emerge?
Yes, not necessarily, I don't know. I mean, when I arrive, I'm like this, and then I gradually calm down, and once I actually start to work, then it's all right, and once the first rehearsal is over, and something has happened, then I can relax. Of course, if you go to the first rehearsal and you come up blocked straight away, that's terrible.
Has that ever happened?
Yes, of course.
Ashton's diffidence has never stopped him experimenting. Ashton hasn't created a major new ballet since 1976, but he regularly supervises revivals and new productions of his works. These rehearsals were rather unusual. Senior students of the Royal Ballet School had learned Sinfonietta, one of the lost ballets, from notes and films. Ashton had seen a run-through, the first time in 10 years that he'd seen the ballet, and he immediately started to make it better.
Bring your body round more. There, you see what I mean? That's it. That's it, now I can see it. That one's all right, but it's this one that gets lost. Well, they did an arabesque up to there instead of being a little bit more there, so one sees it. You see, that's it. Look at the glass, and you can see for yourself. You see? Now do it the other way, as it shouldn't be. Now look in the glass, you see? Right.
The next thing was the shoulders. When you two split after your first entrance, you wanted more movement
yes, more movement with the shoulders. That's it. You see, don't finish it here, but finish right. That's it, right in there again. It's a matter of letting this go. Yeah. That's it. Perfect. That's it. Perfect. Right. What was the other thing?
And then her hand on the arabesque.
Oh, yes. Your hand on the arabesque is a bit too rigid. Do your arabesque. See the same here, you're taking tension here, which you mustn't do. That's it. Let this come up, let that thing come up. You see, if you don't take these fingers up, it immediately gets like a flat iron, you see. Whereas if you try and think of that, you see, then you see the hand as a hand and not as a butter pat.
Your bourrée in the centre, dee da 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 da, yeah da da. You wanted to put a jump in there.
That's all right, that's fine.
That's it, right?
That's it. Your head is better. You're using your head back much better.
Try this one.
Don't be afraid to really exaggerate. Pull here. That's it. Imagine me pulling your bun back every time you take an arabesque. That's
No,
it.
it's wrong.
That'll help you.
Ashton's corpus of work, in quantity and quality, entitles him to a place alongside Bournonville, Petipa and Fokine, key figures in the recent history of classical ballet, its founders.
The arms almost stop.
There's something rather touching in finding a man of this eminence working with students, passing on what he can to the next generation. This young dancer is potentially one of the stars of the Royal Ballet during the 1980s. He impressed even the pair of eyes that had seen Pavlova dance. It was also, coincidentally, his solos that Ashton most wanted to improve when he saw them again after such a long period.
Yes, that's too many the same somehow. Wait a minute now. You go first here. That's the first one, is it? And the second one? Well, now the second one, do that one. Then the third one back to that one. Then the fourth one back. There are four, are there? Let's see.
Since 1946, Ashton's initial rehearsals, when he creates his choreography, have been closed to all outsiders.
That's it.
It was a considerable privilege to be able to film while he thought about the structure of his work.
Let's see how that looks.
This is how Ashton creates, watching, experimenting, practicing, trying things out.
Better that way. Don't take it too high, though, you see. Take it to there, don't get up there. Right? What else? Doesn't he do a lot of those? It seems to me that he's endlessly doing.
Well, he does one lot and he goes off and then he does another lot. But it's only that
And
one
the
where
second
he
time,
has
what
to
do you do
learn
then?
less.
Well, what about something here, for instance?
With the arms down.
And there, for a change. There. And then there. I mean, more this way. Try that and see what that looks like. That's it. No, then the second time here, you see. Back. That's it. And actually use them. You see. Let's try that. And no, back first. That's it. Yes, at the end, though, you see. That's it, at the end. So as you're doing that there, as you land, the hands also go. That's it. Now lift it a little bit higher back. No, easy. Don't make it awkward.
Ashton is patient, gentle, and sympathetic with his dancers.
It seems to me that you love to be with dancers.
Oh, yes, I adore it. I love dancers. I think they're wonderful people, and they're full of humor and hard-working and dedicated, and I think they're absolutely extraordinary people. With the head. That's it.
Is there any other way you would want to have spent your life?
Other than dancing? I think not, no. It's rather wonderful to be satisfied with what one did, and I'm actually more so because I had such difficulty in getting there. And having had that a year and a half in the city and all that, I mean, has made me tremendously appreciative of my luck, really. And to do what one wants to and to be able to make a living at it is a heaping up of joys.
Bring up the retiras. More precise. Stop.
Stop.
That could be more high. You're getting a bit too, you see, really punctuated. Not you only, I mean all of you.
Once again. Let's go back to the beginning again. And.
Drop.
Yes. Otherwise it gets slurred, doesn't it?
These fellas did a heck of a job painting GM cars, almost every time. Today at General Motors, as a result of the world's largest industrial redesign program, we are developing the industry's most advanced computer-controlled paint system. As it is installed in our plants over the next several years, it will paint cars with precision every time. General Motors, the future of transportation is here. General Motors' first crash tests were useful, but not totally scientific. Today at General Motors, as part of the world's largest industrial redesign program, we continue to push safety technology forward. At GM, we believe in safety, and we've done something about it. General Motors, the future of transportation is here.
Take a journey with Arts, Alpha Repertory Television Service. A journey to the heights of artistic expression. A journey to the best there is in art, music, drama, and dance. Travel from Paris to the Greek islands, from South Africa to Indonesia. Along the way, you'll be entertained by the world's greatest creators and performers. Pavarotti and Makarova, Norman Mailer and Van Gogh. And on your journey, you'll be guided by captivating personalities. The real wonders of the world can be yours on Arts. There is nothing like it on television anywhere. So come along with us. Arts, Alpha Repertory Television Service. A great journey makes great television.
There's more of jolly old England to come here on Arts, the Alpha Repertory Television Service. We're going to visit Buckingham Palace and the famous Covent Garden Opera to watch Sir Frederick Ashton's wonderful dance version of Cinderella, your favorite fairy tale. You come on back.
Next week, Arts on the Nickelodeon Channel warmly welcomes you to a very special holiday season. The American Conservatory Theater and ABC Video Enterprises present Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. And the Royal Ballet performs Cinderella. This is Charles Dickens' Scrooge. When you wish him a Merry Christmas, he's liable to say,
"Ah, humbug."
He refuses to give his clerk, Bob Cratchit, enough coal to keep warm.
That's it. Get on with your work.
And don't dare ask Scrooge for a Christmas gift. Oh, Scrooge, you're in for a strong reminder about the Christmas spirit of goodwill.
Hear me. My time is almost gone. I'm here tonight to give you one last hope of escaping my fate.
And next week on Arts, welcome to another magical world as Anthony Dowell and Leslie Collier dance in the Royal Ballet's Christmas production of Cinderella. So come in from the cold this holiday season and celebrate the arts with two wonderful Christmas shows. Arts is a presentation of Hearst ABC Video Services. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Humbug.
Thank you, David. Yes, this piece that John Dowland wrote is, as you know, based on a ballad tune. And I think you need just to take it a little bit faster, so that in bar 3, you notice that figure going is in fact part of the tune. So if you can just try the opening again, just a fraction faster. Just try the first few bars. Yeah, that's much better, I think. Shall we now try playing it as a duo? Because in the Tolmash manuscript there is another part that fits very nicely. So let's just try and play it together, shall we? there's just one thing that concerns me a little bit, and that is the balance between the lute part and the voice part, because whenever John Dowland writes his lute song, the lute part always contains very important thematic material. So I would like you to try just once more, maybe playing slightly near the bridge, and try and concentrate on getting more sound out of the lute and possibly keeping your voice down a little bit. Could you just try the first few bars for me again?
Je pense qu'il faudrait qu'on accentue encore plus les différences qu'il y a entre les notes répétées, les notes tenues, les notes legato, les notes staccato. L'élément rythmique, c'est un mouvement lent, c'est écrit andante, mais l'élément rythmique est très, très important. Et dans tous les phrasés, si on peut caractériser le rythme, même dans une chose très lente, quand on caractérise bien le rythme, on obtient une meilleure utilisation des phrases au point de vue même de l'expression. Alors, je voudrais que tu me donnes le passage où il y a des notes répétées et une syncope. Hein. En ce qui concerne la syncope, il faut qu'il y ait un peu d'air avant la syncope. Hein. Syncope égale un battement de cœur qui manque. Hein. Bam, 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 bim, bam, bam, party. Un petit peu d'air avant la syncope. Et il faut que les notes répétées soient plus répétées. Alors, en plus de ça, tu as 5 notes du même nom. Fa, sol, 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 sol. Il faut qu'il y ait une différence sur chacun de ces sols. S'il commence piano, que ce soit bien détaché, que ça aboutisse sur une note qui est plus forte que les autres, mais qui est aussi plus brève, qui va te permettre de faire la syncope. Assez détaché. C'est pas assez détaché. Fa, sol. Alors, la même chose. Dès la levée, hein, il faut pas que tu fasses. Hein? Tu comprends bien la sensation de syncope. C'est-à-dire une chose qui tombe, une note qui tombe, une note qui rebondit. Pam, pam. Voilà, ça c'est bien. Et legato. Bon, maintenant on va faire depuis le début. Alors, on va faire depuis le début. Cette levée du début, qui doit être bien nourrie, qui doit déjà annoncer tout ce qui va se passer, au moins dans cette première phrase, ce si, ta. Voilà, attaque carrément. Bon, alors même déjà sur un petit corps de phrase comme ça, évidemment c'est du Bach, il y a tellement de choses. Là aussi la syncope, il faut qu'on ait une sensation carrément de 4 temps, pas que toutes les notes soient égales en rythme, et qu'il y ait un petit peu d'air avant la syncope pour qu'on ait cette sensation de manque. Hein? Or, pour ça, il faut que la note qui est sur le temps soit un petit peu plus légère, mais qu'elle ne soit pas écourtée non plus. Voilà.